Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host, Avran LeFeber, and this is Top 5s, the only weekly Top 5 show in snowboarding that you're currently watching right now. I mean, there might be others that you watch, I don't know. Anyways, in this episode, we're going to be talking about the Top 5 best, worst reviews of Breckenridge Ski Resort. That's right, people wrote them, I'm going to read them, and I found the best of them. Number 5, coming in from John Samino. Absolutely dreadful. Had to wait a good hour to get equipment, then had to wait a good hour and a half to get on the lift. I actually gave up. They only have 3 runs open on the entire mountain. I paid $135 for a lift ticket and never skied. I seriously plan on suing because you cannot get on the lift. Talk about running a scam operation. Unfair, deceptive trade practices to say the least. I can't believe more people are not upset about how this resort treats its guests. Even the guy at the rental shop asked me to give a bad review because the staff is so overworked. It was fucking opening day, dude. And a low snow year. And you went to the most visited resort in North America. Please don't come back, peasant. In fact, tell all your friends. But the fact that you're gonna sue, come on. You're gonna spend more money than it's worth over the $135. Suck a fart out of my ass. Next time, read a friggin' snow report. Number 4, coming from Karen M. And because you know her name's Karen, you know this is gonna be good. The food choices here are by the far the worst of the Colorado ski resorts I have visited. Tried most on mountain, peak dining establishments, and there is a reason the locals all bring their own food. Yeah, we're fucking poor. $6.50 for a Gatorade makes the airport look cheap. Even back east you pay $4.50, which is typical, but $6.50, really? I mean, I paid $10 at an airport once. Taco salad on Peak 7 was the best item we tried. How does a place not know how to do fries, burgers, and chicken nuggets? This is frozen junk food at best. Peak 8 chili was watery, like something diluted from a can. Ramen was barely edible. Need I say more? Breck, you need to step it up for the price of a ticket and what you charge for food. Mountain, however, is fantastic. Imagine basing your whole trip on the food options, which you know are going to be overpriced. Oh, Karen. Number 3, coming from Mark Lockridge. I have skied in 14 states and 2 provinces, and Breckenridge was one of the worst ever. No maps! Very little signage. Some of the staff were helpful, but most of them don't know the resort. Honestly, I could go on and on, but my family is so done with this place and we won't be back. We can afford to ski wherever and whenever we want, and this sure ain't it. Oh, supposedly this is the 3rd most wealthy town in America, but my wife and daughters have to go in porta-johns. The lifts have cold metal bars in one's back. Apologies, said I was going to stop a while back. This guy sounds like a pretentious douche canoe. He probably rented a Range Rover that was 2-wheel drive and slid off I-70 on the way here. Oh my god, oh no. You're out in the middle of nowhere where there's no plumbing and you had to go use the porta shitter. Get over it. Sometimes I pee in the woods. I've seen people shit in the woods. A bear will shit in the woods. A bear would be happy with a porta-john. Really? Come on. No signage? There's literally a giant frigging sign at the top of all the major lifts. Maybe Mark should reach up his ass, pull his head out, wipe the shit from his eyes, and look around. Then again, he came to Breckenridge, which, you know, for someone that can ski whenever and however they want because they can afford to, why didn't you go to Vail or Aspen? Oh, because you're fake rich. Number 2, coming from Ben M. from Las Vegas, Nevada. Let's start from 5 stars and work backwards. How come I'm getting vibes like this is the guy that puts money on the table at the restaurant and looks the waiter dead in the eyes and says, when you screw up, I take money away from this. Every time you do good, I put money back or add more. I feel like this is how this is going to go. Lose a star for the fact I spend more of my day in lift lines than I do skiing down the mountain. Peak 10 has shorter lines but very limited terrain. Also, anywhere else terrain like Peak 10's would be blue, not black. Yes, because, you know, it's universal across all resorts. That's how they actually rate the scale. They don't base it off the difficulty per that resort at all, Mark. Lose a star because Breckenridge has the worst layout of any ski area I've been to. Additionally, with the exception of the upper bowls, this place has the flattest downhill terrain imaginable. You ever been to Wolf Creek late in the season after it snows? It's like this. Lose a star because I have to pay $12 to park miles from any skiable terrain. What am I paying for? I can understand paying to park at Vail where you're in a covered garage only steps from the mountain. But $12 at Breckenridge? No way. Where the fuck you parking that you're miles away and you had to pay? There's a free lot on Airport Road with a shuttle that takes you to the gondola. Lose a star because they constantly overinflate their snowfall. I'm not saying they lie. I'm sure they have a perfectly scientific way of reporting snow. All I'm saying is that where I come from, if you report 8 inches of new snow, it's because you have 8 inches of new snow for people to ski. At Breckenridge, if they report 8 inches, you can expect to be skiing in 3 to 4 inches. My guess, their snow measuring equipment is placed somewhere very prone to drifting. It's actually CGI, Mark. CGI. Then again, you're from Las Vegas, so your ski resort snow was probably smuggled up the anus of a mule. They get 1 star because the entry-level terrain is very beginner-friendly. Also, the town and après-ski aspect are very decent. If you like the idea of skiing boarding more than actually skiing and boarding, Breckenridge would probably suit you well. Lodge pimpers, come on in. One final note, I have no idea how this place has 4 stars. One Yelper actually listed a pro as being close to DIA. How is a 2-hour drive double that if traffic is bad, i.e. weekends close? I said it before and I'll say it again. Breckenridge for people who like the idea of skiing more than actually skiing. You live in Las Vegas. It's like an hour and a half to your resort, or you drive to Big Bear. Suck a fart. For some people, that is a good thing. I don't know. I think being close to Denver is absolutely awful, though. Honorable mentions! All bad reviews, but just barely didn't crack the top 5. From International Wanderlust. Been skiing Breck for 10 years, and this year, Martin Luther King weekend, is like something out of a horror movie. Slopes are jam-packed, people everywhere with sadly many clueless or inconsiderate people who don't look uphill when merging. Saw 2 collisions that looked nasty that were avoidable. I go to the mountains to enjoy nature and get some exercise. With the gorgeous mountains saturated with human bodies, it's impossible to do either. You'll spend more time parking, queuing up to get on a chair, and watching for knuckleheads on the slopes than you will skiing or boarding. Sucks. Traffic in town is worse than rush hour in Denver. If the sheep adore it and don't mind knocking heads together, more power to them. The emperor has no clothes. You literally went to the busiest mountain for the busiest weekend with the resort that sold the most mega passes. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen? Jason Holiday. Ski tickets were $230 for a day pass, and then when my Kife, I think he meant wife, and her aunties up there passes the lift employees right in front of the Maggie threatened to call the cops and take the pass before even giving her a chance to swap back. We were then kicked out for the day. Very expensive lesson to learn about veiled management. So you bought 1 ticket and we're trying to swap it between people in front of lifties. Are you fucking retarded? Bobby T from Wheat Ridge. Guess what, Breckenridge? You even suck on powder days. I should maybe even go so far as to say you especially suck on powder days. See that 1 star up there? It's for the powder. You claim a base of 70 plus inches, yet I ran over unmarked rocks on every run, including groomers. Well, they call it the Rocky Mountains, dude. My run down Peak 7 had face shots, but also gouges in my skis. My run down from the T-bar was fun, but now my skis are in need of serious repair. Have you ever looked at that on a good year? There's still rocks poking through that area, dipshit. Ugh, I guarantee you those rocks were showing up last Wednesday, but did you ever think to get out there and throw in some obstacle markers? Methinks not. And what's up with your wide open highway trails having bumps in them? Don't you guys groom those? Then why were my knees pistoning up and down like Alexandre Billadou on his gold medal run? On a fucking green run at the bottom of Upper Lehman. They don't groom Upper Lehman's bottom, you dipshit. I still contend that Breck has the worst layout of any mountain anywhere. By the time I had taken 2 runs, I had already ridden 5 lifts. It took me an hour to get from Peak 7 over to Peak 10 to meet up with friends. I overheard a guy that lives in Breck saying that Breck has the same number of skier visits as Vail, but half the lift capacity. No wonder the lines are stifling long. Well, yeah, that's just logic right there. Here's the only way you could get me to go to Breckenridge again. On a Tuesday or Wednesday, after at least 8 inches of snow has fallen and Breckenridge pays me $100, then it might be worth it. Otherwise, I'm avoiding it at all costs, and you should too. Bye, Felicia! Anyways, these were all great bad reviews of Breckenridge, but just barely didn't crack the top 5. And the number 1 best worst review of Breckenridge Ski Resort comes from M. Ben of Mexico City. Left my son for dead. 5-year-old alone in negative 20 degrees. Ski school equals abducted child waiting to happen. I have been saying this for years. We dropped our 5-year-old son off at the village ski school on the 8th of March for a max 5-person lesson. I attempted to advise the overwhelmed staff that my son was a Type 2 approaching Type 3 skier and wanted to ensure that he was taken care of. I was pandered to and reassured everything was okay. Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure he's a level 3. 2 hours later, while traversing from peak 10 to peak 8, my wife and I stumbled across a boy crying on the slopes alone. It was one of the coldest mornings of the year. -5 with approximately -20 wind chill. Where the fuck you been, dude? Those are warm days here. This 5-year-old boy just so happened to be my son. So you didn't recognize him? Wow, you're a great parent. He was crying and cold. He said he was lost and could not find his teacher. We waited with my son and looked for his instructor to no avail. Many instructors skied by and no one stopped to assist. My wife used to be a ski instructor, and the protocol is to immediately assist any ski school kid with a vest, especially when they are with non-ski school personnel. No veil representatives stopped. I don't know about you, but I'd probably just keep going anyways too. You sound like an ass. I skied down with my son and passed countless instructors and mountain hosts. When I neared the bottom of Silverthorn Run, I approached an instructor to report the lost child. The lost child? It's your lost child, and you found him, so he's no longer lost. He connected me with Sierra, who tried to take my son back to school and reassure me he would not freeze to death. To this, I declined. I was coldly and mechanically refunded my money and sent on my way. The near $1,000 in vacation ruined is not the issue. No veil representative followed protocol. My child could have easily frozen to death or been abducted. We emailed Jeff Zimmerman and Breckenridge, and we never received a reply. This incident has and will forever tarnish our relationship with Breckenridge and Vail Resorts. We have been season pass holders for a decade and have created great memories with our boys at Breck for 3 years running. The thought that our son was on the brink of freezing to death has changed our happy memories. Written March 17th, 2022. And you said this took place on the 8th of March? Pretty sure that those days weren't like really cold. It was like probably hovering around 25 degrees if I remember right. We had a really warm winter. Your kid wasn't gonna freeze to death. Might have got a little frost nip, maybe a little frostbite, finger might fall off. It builds character. But what I really want to know is how your kid was a season pass holder for 10 years when he's 5. I mean, what, did you buy your sperm a fucking season pass? These are the type of people that leave bad reviews, and I love every single one of them. Remember that when you're thinking of coming to Breckenridge. This is what you're dealing with. Long lines, overwhelmed staff, your children might get abducted, traffic worse than Denver rush hour, and really shitty food. This has been my top 5 best worst reviews of Breckenridge. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? Did I forget a review somewhere that I couldn't find on the internet? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this list. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here, do you want to support us further? Swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and well, I'm going to continue to be your host. And this uniform was not stolen, and I'll see you in another video.